So, are you trying to visit Ladakh? Then you should definitely know how to cross the river and the water crossing. And is it dangerous? Hey guys, it's me Neeraj Keshav and welcome to Thrillious. And in this video, I will give you guides and tips and tricks and my personal experience that I have experienced. How dangerous is water crossing in Ladakh and how can you cross it, and what are the things that you need to take care. So let's get started with this video. So the first point that you need to take care is about the temperature of the water. So even if you visit the Ladakh during the summer days, means the water should be normal, right? But no, it's wrong. The temperature of the water is extremely cold out there in Ladakh because in the winter the water freezes, and in summer when it starts to melt, the water is still very cold. So you should avoid getting your shoes or your pants getting soaked in that water. So while you are crossing, just know the temperature of the water before crossing. Just put your hand and check the temperature, that is it okay if your boots or your socks get soaked in water, and if the water is really cold, you should be very careful while crossing it. Secondly, how to cross that water crossing very safely. Everyone thinks water crossing is just very simple as they used to cross on the roads. So it's very different compared to your road and Ladakh, because while you are riding on the roads, the water is still and the water is not flowing. The water and the road is still very good condition, or you can say at least the road is there. But when it comes to Ladakh, the road is absolutely turned into rocks and boulders, means the rocks and boulders are loose and totally your bike can go out of control if you are riding on it. So at that time, all you need to do is ride very slowly and carefully and have a control grip of your bike while crossing that river water. You don't want to make a fall on that cold water, and especially there where you will not find even a tea stall or a restaurant or any store where you can change your clothes easily. So coming to the third point is, if you are having a pillion rider on your back, then it's better to ask that pillion rider to get off the bike and cross the river crossing on foot while you take the bike across that water crossing. Coming to the fourth point is the invisible danger. Yes guys, I am talking about the black ice. So the black ice is the number one dangerous thing that you should really take care, and there are some cases that even people not knowing that there is a black ice and they have lost their lives. So I have shared several photos and reels on my Instagram and also on my blog. The link is given on the description, where you can check their simplest and the slightest mistake has cost their life or sometimes caused them heavy damages. So black ice most forms throughout the year in Ladakh, and especially near that water bodies like the water crossing and the rivers and the streams. So you should be very careful while approaching any river crossing, any water crossing in Ladakh. And if you see water on the road, be very careful, because black ice could be there just a few meters up or beyond that point. So be very careful while crossing, because you should know that in black ice, whether you accelerate your vehicle or you put the brakes on, it's not going to work anything on the black ice. The bike is the vehicle is going to skid, and it can go out of control and sometimes even to the extreme levels. So be very careful while riding, and don't cross while and don't try to speed up and think that you can easily cross a river, and don't speed up your vehicle thinking that you can easily cross that water crossing very easily. Coming to the next point is, from where should you cross the river crossing? Yeah, it's the road where and you can cross it from anywhere, right? No, it's wrong. So the best way to cross the river crossing in Ladakh is to cross the water crossing from that area where the tires of the vehicle passes by. Yes guys, don't cross from the middle, because if you do this, you will know what mistake have you made, and don't cross from the extreme corner where you can have a fall and lose your life. So let me explain you why should you not cross the water crossing from middle. So while you are riding a bike or a car, most of the time what happens when the trucks and the army vehicles and big vehicles crosses the water crossing, they don't have the tire in the middle, right? So what happened is that when they put the pressure on two extreme ends, the rocks and the boulders accumulated up in the middle, forming a pile of boulders in the middle under the water, which may be invisible to you, or sometimes you couldn't understand how many boulders are there. And when you try to take your vehicle, you will suddenly find a heap of boulders which are loose, and you can lose your control of the bike. So the best thing is that to cross from where the tires have already been traveled, because the stones and the boulders under those tires are really pressurized, so and they are set firmly on the ground, so it's better to cross from there. Sixth is the speed or the current of the water. Yes, the current of the water in Ladakh can change any minute, any time, and don't underestimate the current of the water just by saying, oh, I can just easily cross it, because if you see the water very carefully, you will find that water is flowing really fast and it has a current, it has a strength with it. So while crossing, understand where you should take your bike and how can you cross the water crossing. If you are riding alone and you are feeling it uncomfortable to cross, you should really wait for a few moments or sometimes few hours, because Ladakh is full of travelers. There you will find every bikers now and then. So try to cross any water crossing with some friend or even some other bikers, which will help you to get out of the situations if you get into a tricky one. Coming to the next point is the turnings. Yes guys, while crossing water crossing, I have find many people like speeding up after the crossing. So don't do that, because most of the time you will find that just after crossing a river, you will find a turning, and what people do is just speed up their vehicles. But now you should know that since of the black ice, the water has already been traveled till that, and it can accumulate into and turn into a black ice. So you should really be careful, while especially on the turnings where you can't have a control of your vehicle. And finally, the speed of your vehicle depends a lot. So there are some really interesting people who thinks that if they speed up their vehicle, speed up their bike, they can easily cross that water crossing. Just like, yeah, it's never going to happen, and you should really know why. Because of the water's speed, the condition of the road, the boulders or the loose gravels that has accumulated down below. So all these things when mixed together will give you a sudden surprise of a fall in that cold water, which you definitely don't want, especially on that cold area. And if you are thinking to have a cold water bath, you can try that, but I prefer not to, because that won't be really good and interesting to you. If you want to take a cold water shower or a cold water river bath, you can experience that there are several places to do that, but especially not on river crossing. So maintain your speed, take your bike really slow, really carefully while maintaining it, because you may have got panniers also, luggages also on your bike. So don't do that mistake and travel safely. This is me, Neeraj Kashyap from Thrillious. Subscribe to this channel if you want more and more videos of Ladakh. If you're traveling to Ladakh, you should definitely subscribe to this channel so that you can get more and more videos, more informative knowledge about how to travel in Ladakh, and show your love by liking this video. So I'll meet you guys on my next video. Till then, keep enjoying and start dreaming of Ladakh.